Hey guys, it's Amanda. What's up? I hope you all are having an amazing day today. We're going to be doing a Q&A, which is something I have not done in, I want to say, over a year. I'm going to link below all of my past Q&As. I think I've done 3 on my channel, and this one is very long overdue. I posted on my community tab last week asking you guys to leave me some questions, and I got a bunch that I'm gonna be answering. I have categorized everything. I also posted on my Instagram. If you don't follow me, it's 90monka. So I've compiled a bunch of questions from both YouTube and Instagram that we're gonna be getting into today. The main categories we're gonna be tapping into are fashion, general life, okay, and travel. But I'm really excited to just be chilling with you guys, chatting to you about questions you have, because I haven't sat and talked to you in so long, it feels like. Anyways, let's get into the questions. I think we'll start off with fashion questions just because that's more so what my channel is centered around. Somebody asked me how I got into fashion and what are some of my favorite fashion pieces. I got into fashion at a very young age. Like, I wouldn't even call it fashion. I just took so much pride in dressing myself. I've just always been very expressive through my clothes. I remember just doing the most extra things. Like, I think when I started grade 2, I decided I was just never gonna wear girls' clothes again. And I raided my brother's closet and only wore their clothes for the whole school year. I had another phase where I would only wear neon, truly. And I think I loved the attention that it brought too, because everybody was like, oh my God, there's Amanda in her neon chartreuse green Justice coat. And I think my self-expression through clothing has kind of grown into my interest in other people's and other people's development of personal style. That was a huge theme through my undergrad that I focused on. And then that eventually tied into authenticity, which I looked at through photography. So I think my starting point was just self-expression through clothing. Before finishing high school, I heard about the TMU Fashion Communications program, which is what I just graduated from. And that was the only program I applied to. I just knew that was what I wanted to do. And the high school that I was at was not an artistic or fashion forward high school. We wore a uniform for literal safety reasons. I remember wearing loafers to school, like loafers, and people were like, what are those? Like, it was not a very creative environment. And I just remember thinking, like, working on my portfolio to get into TMU was my way into the world that I wanted to be a part of. Some of my favorite fashion pieces right now, okay, I'm gonna be a bit general and say currently, like, my favorite things to wear are maxi skirts. I'll insert some photos. I don't think that anything specific determines what I love other than me putting it on and just feeling like this is an accurate representation of how I feel right now and how I want to be perceived by other people. So putting on a maxi skirt this month, I don't know what the connection was, but I put it on and was like, boom, like, there we go. Maxi skirts are me currently. I've been loving the color gray, especially gray thick cotton, like sweatpant material as a whole. My brother just made me a gray maxi skirt, which I'm obsessed with. I've been very into classic Louis Vuitton monogram. I think after getting my purse, I just love the way it goes with anything. For example, pairing this brown classic monogram with a bright yellow or any sort of like incongruent color, I just love. I think I've been more playful with my fashion recently and really pulling from things that I loved when I was younger. So obviously, if you guys watch my Thrift With Me's, I'm constantly looking for Abercrombie garments, which is so nostalgic, but also I'm like reclaiming it in a way. And I think it's worth mentioning, if you look at me, you're probably like, okay, Y2K queen, like, but my interest in 2000s fashion has been for so long. And the reason for that is just because I love all of the silhouettes that were worn in the early 2000s. I just think that flatters my body the best. But I think now I'm having more fun within the Y2K, like early 2000s vibe, like shopping for those brands and stuff, if that makes sense. I think I was just very wary because Y2K became so popular and I'm like, excuse me, like, I'm not doing all of that. But now I'm like, it doesn't really matter. Obviously, wear what you want, and a lot of people are no longer interested in wearing early 2000s clothes per se. Somebody asked me what the best clothing pieces I've ever thrifted are, and 2 things come to mind immediately. First one is the Miu Miu bag that I thrifted. I'm gonna insert a photo of it, but this bag was $49. I remember not even being that excited, but after buying it, I wore it almost every day last winter. And then the other thing that comes to mind, I will just pull them out. I just have to mention these pants because I've almost worn these to the ground, which breaks and shatters my art, like truly, because I don't know what I'm gonna do when I can't wear these any longer. But these are by the brand Zoompi, which I've looked up on eBay and can't find any other garments by this brand. They're just these beige, super flared pants. These have just really integrated into every new area of fashion that I've been exploring. Like anytime I'm like, not really resonating with my clothes currently, these are not included in that. They're just the best pants I've ever owned. They go with everything. Because they're so long and I'm literally walking on them, they had a huge hole just at the hem, so I had to reinforce that. I just cannot imagine never owning these, and it's so random. Like I just found these one day at Value Village and then they became a staple in my wardrobe. I think I wear these 5 times a week. Somebody asked me if I ever budget when thrifting, and honestly, no. If I'm looking at a garment and it's so outrageously expensive, I'm just not gonna buy it. But I really only thrift my clothes. I don't buy anything new. Like it's very rare that I do. So when I'm thrifting, I'm kind of like, okay, if I see something and I need it, I'll buy it. The only time I thrift is when I'm filming and sharing it with you guys. And if you watch my videos, I don't really buy that much. I don't spend that much money on clothes. Sometimes I'll thrift once a month, honestly, and buy 2 things. So I don't really feel the need to budget. What's my go-to section in the thrift store and what are some useful tips? Go-to section, I don't have to say it, but hoodies, track jackets, moving on. It's definitely changed over the years. I used to rush to the bag section, which now I rarely even check. I just feel like that's one of the easiest sections for things to go. Like you see it, it's cute, somebody buys it. There's nothing left, you know? I think the jewelry section is a go-to for me because you never know what you're gonna find and it's always worth checking. Right now, a go-to section for me is definitely dresses. That's the main thing I'm looking to add into my wardrobe. So I'm actually forcing that to be a go-to section. What is a style that you admire but would never wear? I would admire anybody's outfit that is just super intentionally put together and they have a strong sense of personal style. I actually would rather that than seeing somebody wearing something that I would wear. I'm like, please stop, what are you doing? I think I would admire it more if it wasn't something that I would wear, just because I wouldn't be looking at it with any sort of critical lens. I would just be appreciating it. The last question I'm gonna answer about fashion is, when you don't know what to wear, who is your biggest fashion inspiration? And I actually do not have a single person that I look for. I feel like that's a little bit dangerous. I've talked about this in my past Q&As and that's why I'm gonna link them below. I think my most recent one, I go really into a lot of these fashion questions, but I just don't think that looking to people for inspiration is the best source. I kind of approach styling and fashion the same way that I would any creative project and think about it more in terms of mood boarding. And you're not pulling specific realized things. It's evoking more of a feeling than a specific thing. And I feel like you kind of get into the area of just copying when you're pulling from somebody specific. Like, of course you can see somebody's outfit and think it's cute and want to recreate it. And subconsciously going on Instagram and seeing everybody's outfits, it's kind of inevitable. You get inspired by all the things that you see. But like, if you were consciously in a rut and needed some inspiration, I would turn to everything other than people, other than clothes. Like turn to music, turn to food, turn to art. These are the references that will pull new ideas. As with the previous question, seeing something on somebody else looks as amazing as it does because it's on them and that's their vibe. Like they're carrying it with confidence. If I were to put on like a carbon copy of what they're wearing, it wouldn't necessarily have the same effect because that's not me. And if there's one thing I want my outfits to do, it's to be me, like 100% me. My favorite compliment to get is when somebody's just like, oh my God, your outfit is so you. And I'm like, thank you. You know, like I don't want it to be anybody else. So not to say that you shouldn't look to people for inspiration, like of course, loosely, but like I'm not going on someone's Instagram and screenshotting all their shit and then like recreating their outfit, you know? Now we're moving on to the life category, okay? The first question is, why did you start a YouTube channel and when did you start getting into YouTube? So YouTube for me was a very, very organic thing. I feel like as all of us, I watched it from a very young age. Like I didn't watch TV, I watched Mac Barbie and Steal It Babe 09. And I always created YouTube videos. They weren't necessarily to anyone. Like I remember my first video being a black and white video that I filmed on a photo booth with my friend. and we were just doing some dumb shit. Like, I don't even know what we were doing. And I posted it, and I thought I was titling the video, which I titled How to Braid Your Hair. And I spelled braid wrong, B-R-A-D-E. But I was actually titling my channel. So I actually posted on How to Braid Your Hair with Braids Spelt Wrong for like 3 years, and like built up some subscribers on that channel, and would be on Tiny Chat all the time, like talking to other YouTubers. Like, YouTube was my life. And then I made a new channel. I think it was called Beauty by Mandy 33, obviously inspired by Makeup by Mandy 24. That was when I was in middle school. And that didn't really go anywhere. Every video I would start with, oh my God, guys, I'm so sorry I've been gone. Like, every video, I'm not kidding. And then I made this channel, which was originally called My Life Being Mandy. And I made it in, I wanna say grade 10 or grade 9. And I definitely posted consistently enough. But when I rebranded to Amanda Simmons right before COVID, I had 3,000 subscribers. That was like 3 years ago. And now, fast forward, like 3.5 years later, we're almost at 75,000 subscribers. I've pretty much posted every single week, which, like, this is actually a moment for me right now, because as I said, every video I used to start with, hey guys, so sorry I've been gone for months. And now, like, bitch, I'm back every single week. Like, that's insane. And I really feel so blessed with the timeline of my YouTube channel, because 2 weeks before COVID really came into fruition, I had decided, like, I spoke to my friend Sydney, I told her, I'm doing YouTube, I'm taking it seriously, I'm committing for at least a year, and we're gonna see what happens. And then 2 weeks later, COVID caused everything to go into lockdown. And I remember just being like, oh my God, I had all this free time. And I'm not joking, every single day of COVID, I was filming and editing. Like, I uploaded the most videos through COVID. I was in such a privileged position through COVID to be living at home, not having to work, and just being able to focus 150% on YouTube. I just wanted to prove to myself that I could be consistent enough to do it. The next question is asking, like, any tips for new channels starting out, and it's consistency over everything. Consistency is the main thing for so many reasons. Firstly, for your own growth, like doing something almost every single day and just working at it, inevitably you're gonna improve and get better and get better. And the second thing, which this is advice I personally need to take, and I think everybody should hear somewhat regularly, is don't wait until it's perfect to start, because it's never gonna be perfect. Because until you start and practice, like, you have no perspective and really no skill. You know what I mean? Like, it takes a while to get comfortable talking to a camera, to learn how to edit, film properly, like all of these things. So literally just start and tell yourself, I'm probably not even gonna post this, film it, edit it, and then you're gonna be like, oh my God, amazing, upload. And then above all things is just having a passion for it, because YouTube is so much work. It's actually really hard to imagine. Editing takes hours on hours, and I love editing, so I've never found that to be an issue. I mean, not that I've never found it to be an issue, but like, it's insane how long it takes to edit. I literally sit at home and I edit every day. That's what I do. So having a passion for it and really enjoying it is the only thing that's gonna carry you through, especially the beginning stages of YouTube, when there's no incentive, like nobody could be watching your videos, you know? And that's honestly something that you either have or you don't, but you don't know until you start doing it and until you're consistent with it. So that is what I will say about that. The next question is, what are my goals for the new year? And this definitely ties in. So because I do YouTube full time right now and I work for myself, I've definitely teetered in the fucking danger zone of overworking and having absolutely no separation from life and work, which I was aware of, but I wasn't doing anything about it up until last month, when I was like, oh, what the fuck? I'm not moving my body, I'm not even leaving the house some days. Like, I'm just sat here editing. Like, something really needs to change, because this is not sustainable. And because I had so many like upcoming trips it was easy for me to just tap in, get as much as I could done, and then go on a trip. And I was kind of working in these like seasons for like a 1-2 time, that's okay, but not consistently, and that's what I was doing. So my biggest goal for this year is having a proper routine, specifically a morning routine to set me up for the day, and then also just like life routine. It's so hard because I love what I do. I love filming, I love editing, like every part of YouTube I enjoy. So it's definitely like a blurred line between passion, work, life, like it's all tied up together. It's been, I would say, 3 weeks that I've been super serious about having a proper routine, and I'm not even joking, my life has transformed in every single way. And I definitely do want to make a video talking kind of about goals, manifestation, journaling. Like, I don't know, like you wouldn't know because I obviously only upload fashion content, but that is a huge part of my life. And that's why this was such a, like, not existential crisis, but I was like, Amanda, what are you doing? Like, you're so aware, like how has this been able to happen for the last 2 years? Like where? And then also, like, last thing I'll say is because I started this job and like way of life through COVID, there was already no structure that it was built around. So it was kind of just like the way I built it from the ground up. And then everybody exited COVID lockdown, but I'm like still inside. Somebody asked me about manifestation and stuff, and I don't necessarily believe in just manifestation, like as a concept of like thinking and then things coming to you. But when you talk about manifestation in regard to like journaling and holding yourself accountable and really aligning yourself with what you want, 100%. Like there's no way to achieve anything without doing that, because it actually like rewires the way that you think about things. Everything becomes an opportunity for what you're working towards. And for me, with like wanting to pursue YouTube, that was like the main thing that switched. And I have like 5 journals full of that, which got me to right here. Just circling back to the YouTube question, like any advice with anything in life, if you believe you can do it, you can do it. And that doesn't just mean telling yourself like, oh, I can do it. It's believing it, like really acting in a way that shows that. Because with YouTube, when I started, like I was uploading these videos, breaking my back for no one to watch them, but I already believed like I have all these subscribers, and like that's just what it takes. Somebody asked, what are my morning rituals and like non-negotiables? So for sure, coffee. Like I do need my coffee every single morning, sorry. Working out has become a major non-negotiable. That's my biggest goal for this year, honestly. It's more so just moving my body. Like I need to be moving around every day, you know? So I've definitely gotten to a nice routine of just doing a circuit that I personally like designed. I'm not watching a video, listening to my music, doing my little home workout every morning, which I love. Shower is a non-negotiable. I am a morning showerer. So last question in the life category is how old are you? And I'm 23. My birthday is December 8th, 2000, Sagittarius. Not that anybody asked, maybe you guys already knew. Like, are you planning on doing more traveling? If so, where are you gonna go? And yes, I really am. I just got back from Copenhagen 1 month ago. Copenhagen and Paris. If you haven't seen my Paris Fashion Week vlog, I'll link it in the cards. But I'm gonna be going back to Copenhagen in the end of March. And then I'm gonna be in the UK for quite a while because my brother is on exchange there. He's in a fashion design program. So I'm gonna go visit him with my mom. We're gonna travel around the countryside. And then I'm gonna visit some of my friends in London, which I'm so excited about. I wasn't actually expecting to go away in March, April, and some of May. Like I'm literally gonna be gone for a month and a half, which was not part of my plan for this quarter of my life, but it just is what it is. And obviously I'm so excited. And it's mostly because my brother's on exchange and like we want to go visit him. And then I will be back in Copenhagen for the entire summer, bitch. I'm gonna be in Copenhagen for all of July and all of August, and then traveling a bit through that. But I definitely want to have a more situated summer and be working through the summer, because the last 2 years I've just done like crazy backpacking, which I'm done with for the moment. Somebody said travel planning tips. And it totally depends on the kind of trip you're having and how much time you have. Because if you were talking about backpacking, I would say don't plan. Like literally book your ticket, go to one place, maybe book like when you'll leave the country, but give yourself enough time for things to happen. Because when I was backpacking, the first day I met 2 people and they were like, oh my God, do you want to rent a car and go to Lake Como? And I was like, yes. And then if I hadn't already planned like all of my next steps, I definitely would have just kind of tagged along with what they were doing. So it's really nice to keep yourself totally open and able to just like vibe with whatever you come across. Definitely hostels are amazing and the cheapest way to travel. I mean, the kind of traveling I like to do is more long term. I like to really tap into what it would be like to live in a certain place. Obviously, not everybody's able to do that if you have only like 1 week to go somewhere. But if I was planning a trip in the summer and I had maybe 1 month, I would not try and go to like 20 different countries. I would do 2 countries and then just travel within that country and really like take my time. The thing about traveling is not the vibe. Like you just want to be situated, and I don't want to ever be like, okay, next place, next place, next place. That's not enjoyable to me. I want to be sat. And then last question about travel is favorite place you visited. And I have to say, like, I don't know if it's skewed, but like obviously Copenhagen, but in a way that's more so I can see myself living there. I was there on exchange and I just fell in love with the city for so many reasons. Just the way of life, the safety, the fashion, the stores, like everything I love. I also love Barcelona. I've been to Barcelona twice now, and just every time I've gone, it's been so fun. If you love the city vibe, there's obviously that, but then you can also travel outside of the city to really incredible beaches with no one there, which I love. Okay, I'm gonna end the Q&A here. I've definitely done my talking for today. Like, we're done. But I hope you guys enjoyed, learned something about me. If you want to see another Q&A or you want me to expand on anything I talked about, let me know down below. I would love to hear any of you guys' like thoughts on anything I talked about. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next one. Peace and love.
Cause you know the shit I kick, pimp and keep my pockets thick. On you funky shady bitches, having you hoes clocking my riches.